The story of the Colombian drug lord Pablo Escobar Part 1.
Have you ever made so much money that you ended up wasting some of it? How much did you waste? Was it a few hundred? A couple thousand? How about $2 million? In 1992, the international drug lord Pablo Escobar was on the run from the police when he found himself stuck with his family in the freezing forests of Colombia. His little daughter was suffering the most from the cold, and the only thing he had on him was a bag of money. So, what did Pablo do? He took $2 million from the bag and set it on fire to keep his daughter warm. $2 million. Most people would rather die than burn that amount to survive. And that is because most people will never experience the wealth that Pablo had. Money was never a problem for the drug lord. His only problem with money was where to keep it, and since he didn't trust the banks, the crime boss hid most of his wealth in the oddest of places, in barrels, under fields, and behind walls. And for decades since his death, people have been uncovering these hidden spots, to the point that even his nephew found $18 million of Pablo's hidden wealth. But before we get into this, let's first talk about the fortune of the drug lord and how it came to be in the first place. How did one man amass so much wealth from crime that Forbes magazine had to officially name him the 7th richest man in the world at the time? Where did all that wealth go when he died? And more importantly, how did his nephew find $18 million behind the walls of his house? Pablo Escobar was born and raised in the Colombian city of Medellin. His family was so poor that he had to dabble in petty crimes to survive. By the time he was 20, he was into the Colombian drug scene, and by 26, he had gathered at least $3 million. Then, Pablo created the Medellin cartel, made more money, and bought at least 15 planes. Put simply, Pablo Escobar was doing with hard drugs what John D. Rockefeller did with oil. More than $145 million daily in cash, and an annual income of $55 billion. He was making so much money that his cartel spent over $1,000 US.
Please hit the subscribe button. Let's get to 1K subscribers. Please.